You got. No, just delete that. All right, we got 2 seconds. We're going in.
All right, thank you. That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We're so happy to have you here with us on this great, beautiful day. We've got a lot to talk about today. A little bit later on, we're going to be talking about making your home exactly how you need and want it. We're going to have David Leon here with us with some home improvement tips. He's been brought on board the team of experts on the fourth season of Homemade Simple on OWN. He's appeared on HGTV's Dinah's Party. His work's been featured on Animal Planet's Underdog to Wonder Dog, where he earned the title The Canine Carpenter. And he's done guest appearances on a lot of TV shows. Very popular man there. He's a recurring guest host on the Home Shopping Network, as well as a spokesperson for the nation's largest home warranty company, American Home Shield. So he's going to be talking to us about some things that you probably are going to want in your own living space, and then some. Also coming up around the corner, very, very, very happy to have this guest coming up, Christina Zorick, who has directed a short biography. For the past 35 years, she's worked as an actor, an acting teacher, director, and producer. She's trained, taught, performed in respected theaters and training institutions on both the East and the West Coast, producing music videos and web series and plays. But she became aware of human sex trafficking, and she began what was probably not as long of something that she thought was going to happen, but it became a 5-year journey. And she made her first documentary feature called The New Abolitionists. What does that mean? How does it affect others? How does it affect all of us? Well, joining us right now is Christina Zorick to talk about that very subject. Christina, glad to have you with us. How have you been?
Oh, good. Pretty good. My mom passed so recently, so it's been rough, but I'm good. I'm getting through it. We're all getting through it.
Christina, I had no idea of that. When did this happen?
May 1st.
Okay, all right. I apologize. I think we talked possibly because I helped the La Femme Film Festival when your feature was featured, and I remember being very impressed. I don't know if you or I specifically talked. One of our hosts probably did. I'm sorry to hear of your mom's passing. I have to ask first, what did we lose her from? What did you lose her from?
I mean, it's old age in essence, but there's more complications in the sense of, really that was it. It was a decline in her health. It had to do with, I don't think COVID helped. I think the isolation wasn't great for her. But I think basically, if you ask her doctors, that's what they said.
Got it. Okay. Oh, I apologize. You know what? This is the type of thing that again is not. I have no words. Number one, first of all, our thoughts and prayers are with you. I know that doesn't mean anything. I can imagine though. She
Yeah.
of all people knows that you are a smart woman, and obviously, I would imagine she had a chance to see this film you're going to be talking about right now, right?
Yeah, no, she came on as a producer towards the end and really saved the project and was very complimentary and very supportive of it, and basically said keep going. And I mean, I'm very grateful to her. She really championed us at the end, so I'm super grateful.
Okay.
For, yeah.
Well, let's talk about that. Sometimes, and I, I'm in sometimes. I'm in a position. I'm just going to be kind of real right now for a minute. With my mom she suffers from diabetes. My mom, and that's a common occurrence of me thinking, keep her safe, keep her away from large gatherings. I had her get the vaccine, the Johnson Johnson one. I'm always wondering, is it going to be the last time I see her, and how am I going to deal with that worst case scenario? Going into something like this, I could imagine not only does it weigh heavy on your heart, it's almost one of those things. Why do I have to talk about something else when you feel that so heavy in your heart. However, what would she say to you on this particular film and getting that message out and continuing forward?
I mean, I think she felt the way most sane, rational, reasonable people feel, is that this is like a no-brainer, that, protecting young people and young women from this criminal industry is like, it's there's no gray area. It just feels to me, I mean, there is some gray in the sense of how they get kind of what's called the push factors, that pushes families or children into the situation. Sometimes, but sometimes there's so many different ways it can happen. People can be abducted, or they can be, a lot of them, I would say all of them, are tricked into it on some level. Some go unawares, some knowingly, unfortunately. So it's just, I think she would say that this is a universal issue, social justice issue that needs solving, and that I know she would say that because she said it in our interview, and because I have her in the film, and I'm actually glad I kept her in the film. Some people thought, well, she's not, one of the boots on the ground anti-trafficking. She's not involved in an organization in that aggressive boots on the ground way that most of the people in the film are. Even though she did actually come along, I think, and do some stuff with A21, which is an anti-trafficking group that I met along the way. But yeah, I mean, she was a huge advocate for this issue, and I really feel like it's one thing we can all agree on. We might disagree on a lot of stuff in this country right now, but I think at our core we agree on the basic human rights issues and children's rights issues that this issue kind of is fighting, for.
Well, and I know in seeing just the trailer, in the very first part, and again, you cover, what are the countries that you went to go visit? I know Cambodia is one of them.
Yeah, I went to Southeast Asia. I basically, we went to Thailand and Cambodia. I went to Vietnam as well, but I didn't get the kind of footage that really felt like it serviced the film the way we needed to. And my problem was I made two trips, one in 2015 and then in 2016. And I thought I had the movie in 2015, came home and realized I do not. So I spent a year kind of recalibrating and assessing and incurring kind of the trust of these different anti-trafficking groups, because you really have to let them know that you are going to honor them and protect them, because if something happens as a result of the film, the whole purpose of the film was to honor the work they're doing, so and for us to all learn from the work they're doing. So I wouldn't want anything negative to happen to them. So, and they're in a position where they're fighting a criminal industry, so it's dangerous. And one of the guys said to me when I was following him, he said, Christina, every night I'd have to be able to make peace. He had a family, children, who had moved to Southeast Asia with him to do this work, which is true for most of all these people. They're very kind of, forgive the expression, badass. They uproot their lives to fight this cause, And he would just say, every night, I don't know if I'm going to come home or not. So they're dealing with an intrinsic high level of danger. So you really have to let them know that you're going to do everything you can to protect them and to protect the work they're doing. So for me, a lot of the stars literally aligned for Southeast Asia. I was told by a lot of the anti-trafficking groups I met in the U.S. that it's considered the most trafficked region in the globe. So, and then the movie kind of gets into what that's about and why that is. Basically, that's a larger answer, but there you have it.
Well, and I go back maybe about 8 years ago. There was a film festival called it's no longer around, but it was the Artivist Film Festival. And I remember meeting people on the home front, which are heading that up here locally, because I remember always thinking that it was just abroad, because everybody talks about that, right? In the sense of when you think of human trafficking, people think in other countries. Now, rarely do they go and get. I've never been to those countries, number one, but some people seek out those countries, and I kind of want to talk about this as well. They seek it out, and they seek underage, and I think when one said in the very beginning of the documentary that you put in there, her aunt sold her into this. This is almost like a way of life for some because of the poverty level. And now I know it's here as well, but can you speak as to what that was like, having to see? It's one thing to talk about what I call a certain version of evil in the world, which puts people in harm's way, as though they're just bodies versus real lives. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I just recently watched, I shouldn't probably be talking about other documentaries, but I really, I think we have to all support each other totally.
I think it's good to collaborate with other people that are doing the same thing. So I think if you have something, it's just like authors. We always say, who's your favorite author? I think it's good that you put that out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a believer, and that's the way we should function, even when we don't feel like it, But Nitorno is a wonderful Italian documentary, and they went to the Mideast and shot, and it's similar in the Mideast, what's happening to what happened during the 50s, 60s, and 70s with Vietnam and the conflict in Southeast Asia over the land grab between communism and democracy. And that played out in all these different countries in different ways. So that conflict is what created at-risk, quote-unquote, groups. And there's levels of what that is and why that is. And the same is happening in the Mideast. So that's another area where there is human trafficking going on. Andrea Asen, who we follow with Extreme Love Ministries, she worked in a refugee camp. They started working in tandem with them, and there was a lot of criminal activity with trafficking children and women, and horrendous stories that she started sharing with me. We couldn't share all of that because I got to a point, and one of my editors said, you've got to focus on one region. It's already the subject matter is overwhelming for an audience, so we really had to that was our big challenge, is just making sure that we focused on our region, but we had stories and interviews from different areas of the globe that I wanted to include. So it's really at-risk groups, and they're at-risk groups for various different reasons, So one anti-trafficker said something very smart to me. He said, if you come from a very loving family who's really watching out for you and protecting you and conscious of what's happening, communicating, and all the elements that are needed for a family to be, healthy, this probably isn't going to happen to you. It's when a child or young woman is in a dynamic in a family that's very dysfunctional and unhealthy and toxic that these events happen. And one of those, as I said, contributing factors is war, conflict, poverty, abuse. There's different levels of it. So if that makes any sense.
Well, it does, Christina. I'm going to keep you... Hold on. Ooh, sorry, not coronavirus, it was a sneeze. But Christina, I'm going to hold you really quick, if you don't mind. If you have some additional time, maybe for a couple more minutes. We have to do a commercial break, but I don't want to take away from this discussion. It's a very interesting documentary. Can you stay there with us?
Of course.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we're going to take a quick little break with Christina Zorik. She's here with us talking about her latest film, and you're definitely going to want to check it out. It is available. You're going to be able to see, I guarantee it. And we're going to talk about this because it's so important for people to understand that this does happen with people. Sometimes people get out of the mindset of, thinking everything is peachy and rosy, but the new Abolitionist is doing well in the film festival circuit. Please support Christina Zorik. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more of Christina right after these messages.
Hi, I'm Frederick Penny of Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. I bet you're tired of hearing lawyer commercials, so just relax and listen to music for a few seconds. When you or a family member has been injured, call 800-616-4LAW or see us at pennyandassociates.com. See, that wasn't so bad.
When you want the best performance for your vehicle, think only of Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, right off the I-10 and 60 freeways. Check out Scott's complete list of performance products on their website at hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers can recommend ways for your car or truck to get better gas mileage and cut down on emissions. Need your car or truck to pass smog only? Go to Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont. Find out all of your questions on vehicle performance by logging on to hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, hdrinfo.com.
Ontario International Airport is on to a better way to fly with over 65 daily non-stop flights to more than 20 major destinations and the easiest airport experience in Southern California. Visit flyonto.com/Ontario to learn more about Ontario International Airport today.
Summer's almost here, and you know what that means. Sunny days and hot temperatures that make you want to stay inside. Franklin Mechanical Systems can repair or replace your air conditioning unit to get it working before the heat hits. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems is the one for all your residential and commercial air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000 and get cool today.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM, and we're discussing something very serious and very near and dear to Christina's heart. We're talking to filmmaker Christina Zorik, who happens to also, by the way, teach acting. I went to your website, ChristinaZorik.net, ZORICH.net, and I understand you're among the very best of acting coaches out there. Is that right?
Thank you. I'll take it. Yes, I'm an actress, and I started teaching acting as well, and then that led to directing and producing. So that was my trajectory. But yeah, I love teaching. Teaching is very satisfying. I love it. I love working with kids. I even worked with grown-ups, like real grown-ups. Like I've worked with people who have coached people who are like, my age or even sometimes older. But I love teaching.
Well, yeah, and I could see, back to teaching and back to children and kids. I feel like you're helping to save the future generation of children. I'm looking at your photography portion, and you can always tell, at least I feel you can, maybe you can't, I don't know, the way somebody sees other people is the way they capture in their photography what they feel in their heart. And if that makes any sense, I'm looking at all the pictures that you posted in your photography part, and it looks like this was a lot of your travels in Asian countries, and a lot of them are very in the moment, subtle, but very telling of the way our world is all connected. Not everybody is rich on this world.
Well, it was interesting when we were shooting in Southeast Asia, Andrea, when we would go into the slums, which is the area that's targeted by traffickers, by children from their parents and young mothers who are vulnerable. And so we were going into these communities where extreme love has started working, and they've actually built what they call lighthouse projects, where they buy property in these slums and they actually kind of get plugged in so they know what's going on and they can start sponsoring children and families. But that's why I have all those shots of those kids, because we went into the slums a few times on both trips. And she said to me, when you go into the slums, the kids are going to shock you. They were all over me and so sweet and so loving. They know that they need a way out. You can feel it. They know that they need more. And, it's hard to not fall in love with these kids. So a big part of these anti-trafficking groups, Zeitgeist, is they try to get missionaries or visitors who come to explore the work they're doing or to get educated to start sponsoring the kids. And it's hard not to, just to help them get an education so they have a chance to get out. And they don't have, a lot of them don't have an education, don't have they're put to work young. There's still a lot of third world. I mean, that's a whole bigger question or discussion about why that is in that area and what's going on. But the movie hopefully taps on it for people to get more educated. But the kids are incredible. They're very open-hearted and loving and sweet. And I have to admit, when I went into this one the first time, I had this strange fear. Same way when I did a little project recently, a few years ago, with the homeless, and I had the same problem because it was working with veterans, and I was working as a photographer, filming. They were doing outreach with the homeless, and this fear comes up with the homeless where, are they dangerous, or what's going to happen? And the opposite ended up happening in both projects. When I worked with the kids in the slums, or when we were there, they were so warm and so welcoming and so kind. It was shocking to me. And then the same with the homeless in LA when I was doing this project. And I kind of was very humbled by it. And I realized, gosh, we have so much fear that keeps us from relating to each other. And we have so many false stories about who the quote-unquote other is. And one of the guys that, and this is off topic, but one of the guys that was running this Veterans with the Homeless initiative that I was a part of, was saying that that's one of the biggest things we can do with the homeless in California is just smile at them and talk to them and remember that they're human beings and treat them, through our humanity. And it's the same experience I had in Cambodia in the slums. Same feeling came up. So it's interesting.
I'm glad you posted. I'm sorry that you said that. I see somebody right now. Angela Araujo says, please post her website. Again, it is Christina Zorich, ZORICH.net. You'll see all of her information there. Also on the New Abolitionist, and also how you can help, not just support and watch it. Sign up for any of the film festival situations, because a lot of these have been virtual as well. And then, of course, you have a way for people to help out specifically. But the newabolitionistdoc.com is also another place that they can go right there and check that out specifically, right? And they can find out all the information.
We have a What Can You Do page at our website, www.thenewabolitionistdoc.com. And the anti-traffickers featured in the film, if you go to that page, you can research them and try to get plugged in and get involved with the work they're doing. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. You can go on a trip with them. You can sponsor a child and a family. You can pray for them. You can start a business. You can offer your services. I mean, they always need people who could say, there was a woman I knew who was a hairdresser who offered services to teach hairdressing to these young women. Or another place we went, a businessman started one of these anti-trafficking groups. They began a jeans making business, and they hired the girls to sew there. So there's also, you can ask them what they need. You can call them up and say, or email them and say how you can be of service to them. Obviously, you can donate. Then I also say to people, I mean, and if you're not interested in, if for some reason, if you want to do something, say, more in this country, because these people, well, these organizations are also working. I know Extreme Love definitely is. I think the Nightlight might be too, working in America, but do your due diligence and research different anti-trafficking groups in this country. I know a few that off the top of my head, like A21 or Unlikely Heroes, that are really doing incredible work in the States with anti-trafficking groups. So I would highly suggest that.
Okay. Well, I hate that we've run out of time with you, Christina, but I want to continue that discussion down the line. I know it's a situation that happens here on the home front as well and abroad, and sometimes when it's in your own backyard, some people take note, some people don't, and some don't realize the extremity of human trafficking and what it does to a youth, an adult, an older adult, and especially a child, which shouldn't be put in that position. But I want to say thank you for being a warrior out there and getting that information spread out far and wide. And as difficult as it is to swallow, it's very important to have this discussion. So thank you for spending the time with us. I want to see more of what you're doing coming up around the line. And so we're going to follow you on social media. The newabolitionistdoc.com is where we can find you at, and Christina Zorich, ZORICH, .net is the place where we can find out all the great information. Spend time doing what is right, and I guarantee your mom and all of your family love you, and we do too.
We're also, just to jump in there, we're screening in Manhattan, if you're in the New York area, Manhattan Film Festival, Sunday the 20th at 7 p.m. at Cinema Village.
Okay.
Sunday the 20th at 7 p.m. at Cinema Village.
Fantastic. Even better. All right, Christina, thank you very much for spending time with us here on The Morning Show.
All right, thanks.
All right. So jumping into a completely different topic, but still something that I think a lot of us will be able to be educated about is something that our next guest is able to do. And when it comes to home improvement, it's kind of important to get the home improvement information and then know what to do with that. So we're going to take a quick little minute break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
KMET presents the 2-hour Heart to Heart radio show every Thursday afternoon beginning at 3 p.m. Heart to Heart grapples with personal issues of addiction recovery, sex therapy, relationships, and traumas. With over 60 years of combined counseling experience, Dr. Mitra and me, Dr. Robert, discuss lifestyle and treatments to help you cope and achieve the inner peace we all desire. The 2-hour Heart to Heart radio show is here for you every Thursday afternoon beginning at 3 p.m. Join us.
Welcome back. Yes, it is The Morning Show here on ABC News Radio. Joining us now is carpenter and guest host on Home Shopping Network, David Leon, talking about some ways to improve your home. David, what's going on over there? I see there's some pretty cool stuff happening in the, home arena.
Yeah, there has. Hey, thanks for having me on. You're right. That home arena has really taken off. Especially because we've been stuck inside looking at our house for the last 18 months. So it's really happening.
Yeah, and people are always looking on, how to spruce it up, do so effectively, do so where it's going to make sense. Where should we spend our cents?
Well, I think, I get asked that question a lot, and it always comes down to that cornerstone of the foundation. And with that, it's your mechanicals of your home, your plumbing, your heating, and especially a great way to upgrade and, kind of change your home, because of what we've been seeing for the last 15 months, is to be eco-friendly, save money, and to stay cool. And that's by upgrading your HVAC system to a system with LG inverter technology. So the great thing is that you can cool just one room in the house that you're in without paying to cool the whole house. Or you can keep one room at 68 degrees and another at 75. And it's super, super quiet. And LG Star certified systems with inverter technology can save you up to 30% on your cooling and heating too. So it's a great way to spend money because you're going to make it back.
Yeah, I don't think people understand how much they throw away when they have old equipment. I used to actually be a comfort advisor on air conditioning. I could tell you LG does some pretty good stuff technology-wise, and it's not for the faint of heart, the cool stuff that they have now, like how you can pre-program and tie into your phone, right?
Oh, it's fantastic what you can do. And really, the money, because of, you being in that field, the money that you save, you can't see it, but you're going to feel it.
Yeah.
You're going to feel that savings in the long run. And there's so many other ways to keep your home cool too. So another way, Hunter Douglas actually came up with it, and it's keeping your home cool and having energy savings and comfort through their PowerView automation. So they've taken it way, way beyond into the future. So, and it's with automated shades and blinds. And believe it or not, they can be triggered by your home's temperature, time of day, or even your routine. And automated shades, they let you use natural light and regulate temperature beyond just that regular thermostat on the wall, which is, again, going to save you more and more money. And they've got so many beautiful shading styles and control options, like you were talking about, being able to, do things off of your phone. Homeowners, they can control their shades by remote control. They can get an app, the PowerView app, or you're going to love this. They have the ultimate convenience shades. It can be integrated into a whole home system, and it works with your other smart devices.
Yeah, I'm seeing the video right now, which we're demonstrating right now. It looks amazing. This takes any home into Luxuryville, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, remember 20 years ago, the fancy guy on Friends? He, everybody was like, oh my God, he just changed his shades by talking to it.
Yeah.
Well, it's here. It's happening.
All right.
And, the technology today and the way things are changing is pretty spectacular. So I'm a contractor here in New Jersey. And another company I just wanted to talk about, they are, I do kitchens and baths. So I work a lot with countertops and backsplashes and flooring and even furniture. So Cambria USA, they are the tops in their industry. And, they're taking the place of marble and granite, which has always been the mainstay. And it's really because, you had to keep caring for it, the sealing and the polishing. Well, with Cambria, you don't have to worry about that. They're quartz designs. They're stain resistant. They're non-absorbent, which makes them hypoallergenic and hygienic surfaces, so you don't have to worry about harmful bacteria. And they're easy to clean, which people love. You just use, warm water and a soft cloth, and you're done. And you'll love this, Aaron, especially because of the real estate market. The warranty on the Cambria's stones it's a full lifetime warranty. And there's more information about it if you want on dailylounge.com. So many great things on that website. You really enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm checking it out. CambriaUSA.com is also where you could find all of the cool stuff. I mean, it's seeing it is believing it, and I could tell it's very high-end stuff. I know we got to let you go, but David, thank you for spending some quick tips on getting our home looking just right and feeling just right.
I love it. Thank you for having me, Aaron. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. David Leon, everybody, go check him out on social media. He's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and then some. And then you can check him out as an awesome host, doing always the right thing, recommending really cool stuff. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Your health truly is the greatest gift. At U-Theory, quality of life is at the heart of every product we make. From farm to shelf, we travel the world to source the purest, most efficacious, and clinically studied ingredients to create science-backed supplements that support beauty, emotional, digestive, and physical well-being. All Youtheory products are manufactured at our Southern California facility, ensuring the highest quality standards every step of the way. As a family-owned company, we celebrate the power of human potential with a mission to inspire wellness in all. Try Youtheory Immune Plus Daily Wellness. 100% daily values of vitamin C, D3, and zinc. Go beyond the you of today and catch the you of tomorrow. Youtheory.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state? Did you miss sending out a prior year tax return? The IRS is out to collect now more than ever, and they'll use any means necessary. They legally can and will garnish your wages, take your money, and even seize your property. If you're behind on your taxes, call the Tax Relief Hotline right now at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000. You can legally get your tax debt under control, and in many cases, get the breathing room you need. Garnished wages, property seizures, bank levies can stop immediately, but you have to call. Many of our specialists are IRS enrolled agents. They know the system and how to make it work for you. Don't wait for the IRS to come down on you. Act now so you can get your tax debt under control. Call the Riverside office today for free info at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000.
Tried shipping a package lately? It's amazing how difficult and time-consuming it can be. Packing, envelopes, boxes, second-day ground, next-day air, it's all enough to give you a headache. Next time, do yourself a favor, go with the pros at the UPS store in Beaumont. They'll pack it right and let you know all your shipping options. You can also take care of everyday tasks like copies, faxing, notary services, and live scan fingerprinting. And while you're there, pay your Edison, gas company, and Verizon bills. Open extended hours Monday through Saturday. The UPS store in Beaumont, located in the Oak Valley Plaza at 1440 Beaumont Avenue. Call 951-769-5956. That's 951-769-5956. Online at the upsstorelocal.com/5027 or Google 5027.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We're looking at your comments and social media. Let's see. On the last portion, Rosalie Huerta Madrigal says, "Oh, wow, I need that during the summer. My electricity bill is always over $900 a month, and that's with a discount." I can tell you right now, you have a very old air conditioner. Okay, I can guarantee you it's probably at minimum 18 years old. And that's where you're just throwing the money away. That money can easily be saved if you have let's say you have a 1,600 square foot house and you run it all the time, but you should run it, during peak times. Some people say don't do it during peak times. I say get it ahead of time. Do a good comfort throughout the day, especially in the earlier morning hours, and hopefully you have good insulation to keep the heat in. But if you don't, even if you ran it 24/7, $450 would be maximum what you should pay a month, by the way, with a good new air conditioner. And that's like maybe 1,500 2,000 square feet. It's like a 4 to 5 ton air conditioner system. What he's talking about is like a room air situation where you can just do each room. But some houses don't have that ability. Others do. It's very common for the European countries to have these, what they call split systems. But LG does make a pretty good one as well. And you can save a lot more on that. $900 a month is way too much, Rosalie. I could tell you that right now. She goes, OMG, the remote on your phone, I can control it without going downstairs or when I leave the boys at home alone, and they have it at 65 degrees. Amazing. So there you go. Yeah, let's see. She goes, there's 2 units. It's probably about 15 years, and I think I'm in a 2,300 square foot home. Okay. So, yeah, you would definitely need at least maybe a 4 and a 2, a 4-ton and a 2-ton. But a 5-ton would do the majority of it, depending on the insulation. But still, 500 max is probably what you should be paying. So I can guarantee it's an old system. But there you go. Definitely get that taken care of. And there's something for everybody, and it's important, especially going into the summer months, to know how you're going to be able to spend it. I know I had this conversation with my mom, and she's like, what we're going to do with the air conditioning situation? I go, I don't know. We'll figure it out. So there you go. All right. Jesse, you love the heat, right?
Oh, yes. I love the heat. I love sweating from every part of my body.
Yeah, that's the best. So, there you go. What did you think of that conversation? I know we went a little long on that last conversation, but I could not talk about it again. I'm going to bring up the video for people to see again. This is one which it's called The New Abolitionists, and it is a very, very impactful documentary that Christina Zorik, who we had on earlier, had to talk about, which has won a lot of awards in the film festival circuit. But it is one of those where you're reminded there are people that are put out there sometimes very unwillingly. Does that make sense, Jesse? Because I think sometimes people think when there are those that, sell themselves on the streets, they think, oh no, they're doing it very willingly, and not knowing how difficult times are in certain countries and how they're kind of put under the pressure of other, I'll just say it, men and or women that profit off of them selling their bodies. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, it's probably for them, it's easy money.
Yeah. For the what would be considered kind of the owners, right, of this sex trafficking, right? It's a whole organization. So going into that is already a difficult situation. And to those organizations that actually go in, and one that she talked about where he goes, I don't know if I'm going to be alive tomorrow, because these type of things, nobody talks about the criminal aspects of taking out the person that says, oh, I own these women, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. And then to be put under the gun in certain areas, or beaten or abused if they do want to leave. No, I own you. And just this whole shift of the way you're like, what do we live in? Like, slave era times. And yet some feel that's the only way to be able to live, right? So some are brought up that way. I thought it was interesting when she said, many come from broken homes or broken families.
Yeah.
And that right there is almost rings true to why it's so important to focus on those that you love. And if there's somebody that isn't being shown that in a proper way, how much more we have to all very kind of be realistic and talk about it, right? It is in our backyard here in the States, and to think it isn't is I feel something that needs to be done to remind people, because this is why we get news stories where, if you feel somebody is not, there's so many laws and so many things that make it hard for women to come forward that it doesn't make sense, and we need to be on that shift of making it make sense for any and all of us, because it just isn't right. And those that partake on that, on the flip side of that, don't really ask those questions. They don't care. They just know, like in certain countries, and I've seen it said where in some of these countries they go there specifically because it's legal, right, to be with like underage kids. Right?
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Oh my God, that's gross.
Which you wonder, like, okay, of the men that have been there, which are the men that do that? And then when they come here, what does that mean for those that, you understand what I'm saying? Like, some of those are your neighbors. You know what I mean? It's creepy. So there you go. But less on that, more on something, because it gets dark very quick. It gets very dark. But it's something that I think we need to have that conversation about. And I know many of you do appreciate Christina and talking about how, even though she's going through a lot of grief, as you could tell, losing her mother most recently, she's still plugging forward and plugging through. And I will say, if she's listening, I definitely want her to know she matters, and that this message, whether she was telling it or not, it's more telling of her mother's life in raising her to be such a good human being, to care enough to go to the extent where she has, and not putting necessarily her own work forward, but putting the stories of others forward. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Because I know you felt that when she said that, right? I think a lot of us were like,
oh yeah, I don't necessarily enjoy hearing these stories, but I need to hear these stories, because honestly, my life is sheltered up the yin yang. So when I see these things that are in other countries, I'm just like, how can people act like this?
Mm-hmm.
So it's honestly, it's scarier than any scary movie that I could watch in theater.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that, because I think, it's good to watch stories where they kind of make you just go, okay, thank God that's just something else, right? That's just something. But I'm going to go to her website really quick, because I want to give her a little bit more time on this. If you missed it, again, it's the New Abolitionists. What can I do is the question on the website, and you can go to the newabolitionists.com. And I'll just click on the read more portion of it. It says, make a difference, pray, give what you can, go on a mission, be a voice. It says, we want to empower you to join the fight. Our documentary is completed, making its way through the film festival circuit. Meanwhile, our greatest heart's desire is to offer you practical ways to get involved. Meet the 3 NGOs, known as non-government organizations, featured in the documentary. These organizations are nobly dedicating their lives to battling human sex trafficking with inspiring results every day. You can become the new abolitionist you were created to be. There's extremelove.com/donate on there, and they have the quote here: we believe in the power of God's love to save, heal, and restore. Human trafficking affects people of every nation, group, and socioeconomic status. Every day, men, women, and children are trafficked for sex, labor, and begging worldwide. Countless millions are crying out for rescue from poverty, oppression, and bondage. Children around the globe are seeking advocates who will hear their cry. Extreme Love is committed to bringing God's light into the darkness. You can be a part of the transformation of nations, one life at a time. The Tamar Center, also tamarcenter.org, offers hope, healing, and a new life to the girls in Pattaya, Thailand. Tamar Center was founded in 1999, seeks to provide hope in a city full of red light districts. It provides healing through love, biblical principles, education, job opportunities for girls leaving the bars. Over the years, Tamar Center has grown larger, which has enabled them to reach out to even more women. They have 2 centers in Pattaya, as well as 2 newly opened centers in the northeast of Thailand. And then there's nightlightinternational.com. That's an international organization compelled by love to reach out to rescue and restore those who are negatively impacted by sex trafficking. Nightlight addresses the lack of opportunity for women trapped in Bangkok's sex trade by providing them with viable alternatives for supporting themselves. Nightlight provides not only job training skills, but physical, emotional, and spiritual development to those seeking freedom. Again, this is all on the website. You can check it out, thenewabolitionistdoc.com. And if it is in your power to be able to at least push forward this type of information and get it seen, or support her, you can follow her on Instagram as well. On Twitter, I'll tweet that out. Follow me at Aaron M. Sanchez on all platforms. And together we can at least make a dent in this type of situation. And she did mention something here on the home front of, those that are very homeless. And if you've been anywhere near LA as of late, I just drove downtown LA, and tents are just on the streets. And some are, the first thought, I don't know what your first thought is, Jesse, but my first thought was how terrible that this is so visible. I don't want people to hide from it, and B, think like, oh, how dare they? The question is, how far have we gotten to say, oh, we have success as a nation, and yet there's people living in tents right next to the freeways. that's out of necessity for people. It's not out of want. It's out of necessity just to live. That's terrible. But here we are calling ourselves a, forward nation? One to set the bar high? And that's here in LA. Have you been to downtown LA anytime soon, Jesse?
No, I will not head to downtown LA for just that reason.
Yeah.
I do not get there. It is a horrific sight. I remember back in the days it was a lot nicer. But now, no, I will not drive to any of those major cities.
Yeah, I had to go through it, and I was just like, and sometimes I'm glad I go through it because it reminds me where we are, and I go, at least I have a roof over my head, and I pray and thank, and I've had conversations with those that are very homeless and asking for help and a handout, and all I can say is we really have to keep everybody in our prayers, those in our own backyard, those around the world, and those that need the help more than anything. So there you go, the new abolitionists. There's some information. Also, if you're thinking about getting some cool stuff for your home, you can check that out. Check out our SoundCloud edition. Check out our live stream edition on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope TV, and LinkedIn. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. We've run out of time, but there you go. Thank you very much to all those tuning in as well. We'll see you tomorrow, same place, same channel. Bye-bye, everyone.